anyone. So, Reuel, let me start with you. Will these talks succeed?
In the short term, absolutely not. I mean, I think what they're feeling out now, and they've been doing that in preliminary meetings for a month, is how far the Iranians are willing to go into stopping their enrichment program. And the Iranians are trying to figure out whether the West will essentially agree to allow them to keep their low-enriched uranium, even though that quantity is now up to over 13,000 pounds and could be converted into at least 5 nuclear weapons.
And so you're saying they could reach some sort of a deal where they say, okay, we're going to stop, but as long as they keep that stuff, they would be able to start up and move quickly, easily,
well,
right?
Not only just keep it, there's no sign the Iranians are willing to stop enriching to 3.5 to 5%. And as long as they continue to do that, they're amassing a quantity of uranium which can be fairly quickly converted into highly enriched uranium and bomb-grade material.
What are they doing right now? I mean, you were a spy, so what sort of intelligence do we really have? I mean, I remember asking Prime Minister Netanyahu a month ago, how do you know what Iran's doing? He gave an ominous pause and said, oh, we know. But how does Israel or the United States know?
Well, I don't think we have.
Really know.
Art, go ahead.
I'm sorry. We really know through a combination of factors. Of course, to the extent you get inspectors to look at the facilities that are publicly declared. That tells you something. And really, you get most of your information by watching what falls into a program. In the same way astronomers figure out what's going on inside a black hole by seeing what materials fall into it. That's kind of the way you map out what's going on in any kind of black weapons program. So yes, you do try and recruit human spies, but honestly, Iranian nuclear physicists do not grow on trees. So most of the information you get from a combination of inspections, signals intelligence, and other forms of intelligence. But we do have a fairly good read on what they're doing simply because nuclear weapons require industrial scale facilities, and those are pretty hard to hide.
Right. So I guess the other question then would be in terms of how far they're going with enrichment. I mean, this is a real problem, and I don't really understand how it's going to get resolved because Iran says they will never stop enriching. The U.S. appears to allow them to enrich to, say, 5%, which could be used for medical uses. Israel has said categorically they will not allow Iran to enrich at all. So does that just mean that if they keep enriching, Israel will strike, or will Israel be called out on a big bluff?
Sorry. It would certainly be difficult for Israel to strike Iran's nuclear facilities in the same way that in the past they've struck Iraq's and more recently Syria's. So it is a much harder nut for Israel to crack, and they have to know that. They may be talking tough solely to get as many concessions as possible. It is concerning, the 20% level. I think Reuel is correct. It really allows them to leapfrog ahead from the moment they decide, okay, we're going to go for the bomb, which means withdrawal from the Nuclear Proliferation Treaty, and close facilities from inspection. If you have a big stockpile of 20%, you can get there much faster in a matter of, a month or a few months. If you only have a stockpile of 5%, then that timetable is greatly enlarged. And so that's a safety factor that I'm sure we're going to be pushing for if we don't push for complete cessation of enrichment.